Hey, movie junkies and physical media lovers. This video, as you can tell, is a little bit different here. And the reason for that is because we are going to talk about what happened to this guy right here. 12 monkeys on 4K UHD from Arrow Video. And I believe the same problem also happened with their previous Blu-ray release as well. And I have here with me a guest. If you want to introduce yourself and give yourself a little background, let me.
My name is Demetrios Patsiaris. I've been working in the film and television industry for a number of years, primarily as a visual effects artist. I started out as an editor doing commercial work in New York. I'm the guy responsible for creating the video detailing the missing frames and the duplicate frames on a short section of both the UHD as well as the previously released BD from 2019, I believe. I took it upon myself based on what I was reading in a couple of forums, and I had to look for myself because I didn't notice it the first time I watched that BD, but I investigated the situation and I couldn't unsee it. So I extracted files from the Universal BD and checked it against the Arrow BD and checked the UHD as well. And lo and behold, the mistake exists on both UHD and BD released by Arrow. So I decided to do a side-by-side comparison of both images, both sequences, and I was a bit alarmed,
to say the least.
I said, "Oh well." Arrow, I've been collecting Arrow discs since 2013, 2012, 2013. So I'm a loyalist. I love what they do. I love what all these boutique labels do. I'm quite grateful for the work that they provide, and they're doing terrific restorations.
Yeah, these boutique companies, they're keeping physical media alive. At least for now, they are, and they're doing the Lord's work with physical media for sure.
I'm also subscribed into their YouTube channel, or not YouTube channel, but their
streaming
services. So I've been doing that for quite some time. I use that, but I'm a collector. I've been a collector, and when I saw this, whatever you want to call it, this mistake, I didn't know. We've had enough mistakes over the years, but I just shrugged them off and I said, all right, they'll fix it. They'll solve these problems. And I'm hoping they'll do the same with this particular UHD as well as the Blu-ray.
As you're aware of, we've talked over the past couple of weeks, and as you're aware of, yourself, you sent an email to Arrow with the video, and I've talked to my rep that I work with at the Arrow, so they're well aware of the situation. Mm-hmm. So hopefully this will ignite a fire to get there to solve this issue. And your legitimacy in this is you know what you're talking about. I just want to let people know I didn't just invite some random guy who loves physical media to talk about this. You have had, you've actually worked with some restoration teams, correct?
Correct. I've seen this kind of mistake happen on a DCP that I was involved with that I won't mention the studio, but what happened was that the DCP itself, are your viewers familiar with DCPs, I would imagine?
You should probably, explain what a DCP is.
A DCP is the digital file that goes out to cinemas for exhibition. Instead of sending film prints, you're sending little hard drives with containing the film. So in that particular case, for whatever reason, it didn't reflect what the final edit looked like. And so we did a check against it. And for whatever reason, someone had connected a hard drive to the machine, somehow screwing up what happened in editorial. So there was an edit, the edit had been watched and approved, and then it had been exported and taken to create the DCP. And So that was a whole big mix-up. So I've seen there were these little bits that didn't belong in the
Wow.
film, and it was a mess. So I've seen these things firsthand in front of my eyes. But it happens. Yeah, I don't get upset about it. It's just okay. It happened.
Yeah. I mean, the important thing is if it gets corrected or not. If the studio cares enough to correct the issue. So this is one of the reasons why we're doing this video is, well, Arrow Video correct this issue. Are they going to correct the missing frames? I hope so. I hope they do a replacement plan, because like you said earlier in the video, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And
it was strange.
Yeah. And like you said, when you first watch it, you may not notice it, but once you do, you can't unsee it. And
I showed the video to a couple of people, and people that don't. You know, I'm used to looking at images all day long, but for whatever reason, I think the last time I put on that BD, well, it was quite some time ago, and it may have been just to watch it or listen to the audio commentary, which I've been doing quite often since 1998, since that initial DVD that Universal put out. You remember that one, right?
Oh yeah. I've had all the home media versions of 12 Monkeys.
I even had the signature release, the Laserdisc release that they put out.
I did too. Yep.
Pre-DVD. I think that was the first version of 12 Monkeys that I ever bought. But yeah, I mean, it's a blunder, but I'm not up in arms over it, but it's something that I hope gets rectified.
I think what upsets people the most is that this seems to be a continuing trend. Not just with Arrow Video, but Kino Lorber, Warner Brothers had their audio mistake with Mad Max. And I think that people are starting to get upset because this seems like a trend that's happening. Personally, I tell people, look, these boutique companies are just getting into the UHD format. It's newer to them. They've been doing Blu-ray for years and years and years and years. They're now getting to this new format. Mistakes are going to happen. As I said earlier, the important thing is if they correct it or not. That's what's important. And there's no reason to basically tell, excuse my language, but basically tell Arrow Video to fuck off.
No, God, no.
There's no reason for that. I hear that left and right.
I love what they do. I love what they put out, and I know it's a lot of hard work that they put into these releases.
Oh yeah.
I have a lot of their Asian films. I have friends that collect a lot of their things. I've gotten a lot of people turned on to Arrow Video, and I will continue to support them. I made some pre-orders last week. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
And I get people to say, well, you're just saying this because you review for Arrow. Well, I don't get all the releases Arrow puts out to review. And so I still order from Arrow all the time.
Yeah, as one should.
And things I don't get to review, I still want to support the companies, not just Arrow, but every boutique company. But let's get into this.
Vinegar Syndrome
Vinegar Syndrome.
Factory.
That reminds me, I was so surprised that Vinegar Syndrome is not just releasing Cloak and Dagger on physical form, because I don't think it's ever been on Blu-ray. And I believe it's DVD, but not Blu-ray.
I think a full frame DVD from years yonder.
Yeah. And I was actually surprised they didn't not just release it on physical media, but in UHD. I was blown away with it. Oh man, I was blown away by that. I couldn't believe it. So
did you see that in theaters?
I did not. I saw it when it came out on beta, I believe, or beta or VHS, one of them. So yeah, these boutique companies, as I said, they're doing the Lord's work when it comes to the physical media, and there's no reason to
shout.
Oh yeah, there's no reason. I mean, did you ever think we would ever get Alligator on UHD?
I have my copy.
I mean, it's insane. And but let's get into this video you made of 12 Monkeys, and I'm going to screen share the video while you talk.
Are you doing the second one or the first one I made?
The second one.
Second one. It's nice. It's a little bit more detailed, I thought, and I felt like the nice little code. I isolated the exact amount of frames that were missing from both discs, just to make it easier for everyone. I put a time code so that if you wanted to look at the disc themselves. You wanted to put it up, at least you can cite the time code. And
Yeah, I love that about the video you did. You didn't just put a video up there, but you went the extra step by putting the timestamp, the time code on there, so that people can actually, because I've seen videos before and I'm like, well, where is this exactly? What timeline is this in the film?
sure.
You provide the timeline, that time code. So it makes it easy for people to find. So let me go ahead and screen share this. And there we go.
Okay, so for the second video, I started it closer to where the mistake was happening. As you can see here at the top, this is do you want to pause it?
Sure. There we go.
We can rewind it a bit. So this portion, this is what we're looking at on the Aero UHD and Blu-ray. This is the portion of the shot that happens later. So in the timeline, yeah, as you can see, this portion of the shot should happen.
So the
quite a bit ways.
The upper video, the UHD Blu-ray, that shot,
that is towards the end of that particular shot.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, as I write below, the universal is the correct, and the streaming is the correct.
Yeah.
So here's a duplicate. There's a duplicate. This shot,
that happened
these
earlier.
happen later on. They're supposed to happen later on.
Later on. Okay.
This happens later on, of course.
Now, real quick, when I first reviewed the Blu-ray,
sure.
This is the shot under the UHD and BD. That's the shot that I noticed right away, because like you, I always had the home media version of 12 Monkeys. And I don't know, some part of my brain always remembered that shot with the 12 Monkeys sign was never at that particular place in the original release. So
then I think you were aware of it when you watched the Aero BD back in 2019. So you were conscious of it.
I was at just that shot right there.
Just this shot. Okay.
And so I thought it was just a quick second mishap. And I just kind of, it was like, okay, well, whatever, just a little mishap. It doesn't affect my enjoyment of the movie any. I'm not going to, complain about it.
Because the UHD is gorgeous.
Oh, it is. And actually I shot a side-by-side comparison between the Aero Video Blu-ray and the Aero Video UHD to compare the difference between the Blu-ray and the
UHD,
4K.
of course.
Oh, it's beautiful. And but yeah, like I said, back in 2018, 2019, that's when I noticed something was a little off with that shot.
So you were aware of it then?
I was, yeah. And but like I said, I didn't watch the UHD version yet, so I wasn't sure if they corrected it or not until I saw your video. Let's move on here.
So here, this is a shot that happens later as well. This is, and so then we return back to normal.
And that's the shot that,
okay.
Yeah.
So there, that duplicate 5 is happening right there. So these are the actual amount of frames that are missing. So it's the first portion of that shot that we saw earlier. Hey, I love Aero. I'm going to continue to support them. I'm not going to.
Oh yeah, for sure.
These things happen. These things happen. I'm not mad.
I mean, honestly, I have a closet full of Aero Video releases. I'm a huge fan of Aero Video, and like you, I subscribe to their streaming service as well.
Of course,
yeah,
I love it. I love it.
I love that they put out all the Giallo stuff that they. And they look beautiful. They're just beautifully done.
Gorgeous. And these are things I remember collecting in the night. Anchor Bay would put these things out in the 90s, and Bill Lustig, director Bill Lustig, had a lot of acquisitions and was doing the Lord's work. And
Blue Underground
now, and I love Blue Underground.
Oh, I think they are probably, honestly, in my opinion, I think right now they're the best boutique company out there. They put in everything and the kitchen sink in their 4Ks. They don't just do a beautiful, gorgeous restoration gorgeous UHD, but they also put in so many different features, commentaries, sometimes 3 commentaries.
And you get these amazing people doing commentaries. Nathaniel Thompson, was it Troy Howarth?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Tim
then
Lucas is doing a lot of commentaries for Kino. And
I love the Blue Underground harks back to the old original poster artwork that they use for their O-rings and their artwork for the release.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love Blue Underground. Love all these companies.
Great work. Yeah. So things like this don't upset me. There's nothing to get up in arms over, and I hope it gets fixed. I'm not gonna lie about that. I won't shy away from that. But
yeah. So we're not here dissing any company.
No.
Mistakes happen. Everyone's imperfect. And again, hopefully, we hope that Arrow's aware of it. Hopefully, they'll do something to fix this.
Sure. Maybe you'll show them this video as well.
I plan on sending this to my rep that I work with, and hopefully he'll pass it along. But the main point of this is to show our viewers out there, the physical media. I like to say physical media connoisseurs. Things like this happen. I've had people ask me, well, should I not buy this 4K and wait?
No, buy it.
Exactly. It doesn't ruin the movie. It doesn't ruin it's not a bad restoration. It doesn't make it a shoddy release. It's just a little mishap at the 40-minute section. And I always say, still buy it. And if they come out with a replacement program, great, and just, don't be discouraged to buy it. It's worth it.
I wanted to say thank you for doing these nice videos for us fans of physical media. I've been a collector since the Laserdisc phase in high school, back in the early 90s, and collecting through college. And I remember pre-DVD, I had a speech class in college, and I got up and I was following stuff in widescreen review, and I was talking about this forthcoming format, and I thought it would revolutionize the industry, and I did a 10-minute speech. I prepared this thing based on research I was reading in widescreen review, and it's great. And when I point out the best thing about these companies, such as Arrow or Vinegar Syndrome or Shout, Scream, curation. They're selecting a lot of films that don't get a lot of attention, and that's what's important.
Yeah.
So I'm always checking to see what they're putting out, whether it's a Severin release or Vinegar Syndrome, and I'm like, oh, well, I don't know what that is, but I want to see it.
yeah, just the artwork alone, I want to see some of these. And I mean, there's movies that I'm sure you've seen that you found that, oh, you never saw that? You never heard of this movie? But yet it comes out on UHD. It comes on UHD from one of these boutique studios, and they're more up to buying it and checking it out because of that. So curating is one of the most important things.
Criterion had a couple of mistakes. I mean, there's Citizen Kane had
Citizen Kane
minutes in the wrong color space. I remember
that was that was with the Blu-ray only, not with the UHD.
Not the UHD.
Yeah,
that is correct. Okay, but they were part of the same set. I remember, and there was Hard Day's Night had some
audio issue.
Repeated, I think maybe a repeated shot.
Okay. I heard it could be both. I heard there was an audio issue where it repeated the same audio from an earlier section of the movie.
Okay, and then that's probably it. Okay.
So that might be it. So things happen, mistakes happen, and a lot of these companies, they quickly remedy it and replace your disc.
Well,
so
I'm not going to stop buying. I say people out there support these companies. They're doing great work. Doing a great job. And people like you, or other people on YouTube that are talking about these things, they're spreading the good word, and that's important. That's very important. Thank you. That's for what you do.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I created this channel, was to spread the love. I first created it to express my passion for film and filmmaking, but then as I started seeing more and more decline in physical media, I switched the format of my channel, thought, I want to start focusing more on physical media.
Good.
And especially, I get asked all the time, is the 4K worth upgrading for my Blu-ray? Well, here's a video.
Sure.
Check it out.
So
So
think about the bandwidth on the disc itself, and people don't shy away from 2K digital intermediates on 4K discs. No.
yeah, I do want to talk to you about that another time, because I get asked that all the time. Why is Disney just upscaling from 2K? It looks like crap. Well, you don't understand, and
upscale, downscale.
And it's not your fault you don't understand. You're just not informed.
Look, and we got outlets such as your YouTube channel that can provide information, and you have the right people that can pass along this information, and you have an audience out there, which is important, and people are listening, right?
Yeah. And so I'm going to keep doing them, keep doing these comparison reviews, keep doing these.
I love them. I love them. Thanks for introducing
thank
me
you.
to these
Thank
things.
you.
And
yeah, we got just a few minutes, so let's just wrap up here. So again,
of course.
Thank you so much for coming on.
It's my pleasure.
And I hope to have you on again. Like I said, I want to talk about 2K, 4K. I think that'd be a great topic to talk about. And so again, thanks so much for coming on. And
thank you, Paul, for having me. Bye.
What'd you do with your time, Cole? Did you waste it on drugs, women?
They forced me to take drugs.
Forced you? Why would someone force you to take drugs?
I was in trouble. I got arrested. I did what you wanted. I got a specimen, a spider. I didn't have any place to put it, so I ate it. But you sent me to the wrong year, so it doesn't matter.
Did you see this when you went back?
No, sir, I don't think so.
What about these people?